Alright guys, came out to my parents' shop today, using my dad's welder. I'm going to be redoing the custom 4-inch exhaust I built for this Trailblazer. The original build video on the whole exhaust, with electric cutout and everything, is over on my buddy's YouTube channel, Send It Mafia. I'll link it in the description below. When we did it, we weren't able to do it the way that I was hoping we could. And we had a little 3 to 4 reducer, so there's still a small section of 3-inch right in the center, and it's always just bothered me. Honestly, probably isn't going to make a whole lot of difference, my just assumption on that. But biggest thing we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing that. We're going to be putting this Flowmaster dual 3 into single 4 wide pipe. So there won't be any section of 3-inch left in it at all. There's one small section, like I said, where both banks are breathing through a small, like maybe 4-inch section of 3-inch pipe. And it's really just more annoyed me more than anything. And I finally found this really nice merge pipe. Actually, a buddy of mine sent it to me, one of the guys I met online in the Trailblazer community. So decided to go ahead and give it a try, replace that piece. The big reason why I'm doing it is not so much because I think there's a restriction here, and I can't say that there is or isn't because I've never put a pressure gauge. They make a pressure gauge that screws into one of the O2 ports, and I've never checked to see if it had back pressure or not. Honestly, probably doesn't. It is a 418, so it is, you know, pushing a good bit of air. This will make sure that there isn't. But the big reason why I'm doing this is because I've been trying to get some weight off this heavy thing. And I put a really big muffler on here so it could be quiet and have the cutout whenever I want it to be obnoxious. So I'm trying to get some weight off. And because of that huge muffler, it's all 4-inch all the way back, pretty much from right here back, it's very heavy. So we're gonna be V-banding it, and we're gonna be putting this right here so I can have a little dump pipe, and we can cut a bunch of weight. It's probably gonna save 60 or 70 pounds. We're gonna weigh everything, see what the weight savings is by just having this little dump pipe, and then because it's going to be V-banded, I'm going to V-band this, and I'm going to V-band the pipe that's underneath it, and I'll be able to just put this on when I'm going to go racing, cut some weight, and then when I'm just running around the street, around town, and I need to be quiet when I'm coming home or leaving, I can put the full exhaust back on it, and it can be just like it is right now. But the weight is the thing that I'm trying to save right now. We're trying to cut weight. This thing's heavy. So we'll go underneath, we'll show you what we're working with. All right, so this is the exhaust as it sits right now. We have the catless wide pipe that the headers came with. The wide pipe comes up through here, merges. So we have this small section right here that is still 3-inch. And then it goes to the 4-inch. Cut it right there. We have this huge, it's a 30-inch core MagnaFlow straight through, and then 4-inch all the way out the back. This is quite heavy. So the original plan, and it didn't work the way that I wanted to attempt it, was to swell this up to 4-inch. I've seen it done, and we had the expanders and everything to do it, but because of this weld right here, it's welded the way that it was built. I didn't feel like our chances of swelling up the stainless was very good without it cracking, so we didn't even attempt it. I'd had this just in case, just as a precaution. I even had that dump pipe already just in case we couldn't get it over the axle. So I'm actually reusing some of the parts that I'd been sitting on the shelf since we originally did this, so that's nice. But this is what we're going to be replacing today. I would imagine we're going to be cutting somewhere right up in here, and then V-band will probably be about right here. Dump pipe probably somewhere right in this area is where it'll end, and we'll be able to remove all of this and put the dump pipe on, so save some weight, and then all of this can go back on whenever we're just cruising around town. We want to be able to have it quiet at times, and then open the cutout when we do want it obnoxious. So that's what we're gonna be working on today. Let's get started. All right, this is what we're working with. Got the old merge cut off. Everything's slid together right now. It's honestly pretty tight. Nothing is nothing's tacked yet, but I got it all marked. It actually fits tight enough that I'm confident that I can put a couple Sharpie marks on it, make sure nothing moves, pull it out, and probably tack it, double check it outside. But I need to try to tap this side in just a little bit more. Try to bring the collector over towards center some more. And, we're looking pretty good. And then we can start figuring out our length here. Or I have to cut this down a little bit so that way this pipe here, we gotta chop it off, fit it, and then we can do our dump pipe. That's coming along pretty good. That's what we're looking at right now. Alright, so it's a couple days later after we did all the fabrication and everything on the new Y pipe. Started to run late in the day, so didn't really get a chance to record as much as I would have liked to. Just trying to get it done. Didn't want to be out there too late in their hair. But we got everything finished. We got the Y pipe changed out. Got the V-band installed in the back of it. Got everything fitted for the full exhaust. So now it's V-banded. So I can remove the whole rear section, and I'm gonna be able to swap it out for this little dump pipe. So like for this coming weekend, is the main reason I wanted to do all this. We'll be able to remove the whole rear section exhaust pretty much from right about here all the way to the rear. And it's got a big giant muffler, so my guess is it's probably going to be somewhere around 55, 60 pounds maybe after feeling it the other day. Just a good guess. How much weight we'll be able to remove. This little pipe is about 4 pounds, so we're going to switch out, 55 to 60 pounds roughly for about 4. And we'll see how it goes. We do have an electric cutout on it, a big giant 30-inch core straight through MagnaFlow to 4-inch tailpipe all the way off the back. So we got rid of that small section of 3-inch which you saw in the beginning of this video, and there's like I said, if you go back to the Ascendant Mafia video on my buddy's channel where we fabricated the whole thing, you can see it a little better, that pipe that we had to put in there. We weren't able to make it the way that we initially wanted to. But we fixed that now. I have a brand new Insta360, so been wanting one of those for a while. So we're actually going to go out for a quick drive before I install this, because I'm getting ready for the race this weekend. We're going to go out, test this. I haven't used it yet, so I'm curious to see how it's going to do. I don't know if it's going to pick up the exhaust sound quite as well as I hope, but we're going to find that out. From the videos I've seen of it, it looks really good. On other people's vehicles. So we're going to go give that a shot. We're going to go make a quick trip around the block, and we'll make a pull with the cutout closed. We're going to make a pull with the cutout open, so you can hear how it sounds. You can go back to the original video, like I said, on my buddy's channel, Ascendant Mafia, and we have some exhaust note where we're just cruising it by, making some pulls, everything. Exhaust with the cutout closed and it open, so we can kind of get a little before and after. It's not a huge change, but it does sound different. Mostly low and mid range. It sounds much louder, just in general. Yeah, even with the cutout closed, it's a decent bit louder. You can really hear it. Some of you may not have heard, especially if you have an older vehicle. They always seem to do it more. They have a little ting sound to it from the headers. Yeah, that's even louder now with that Y pipe in there, because it's acting basically as a third collector. So with the cutout open, it used to, when it was just like you were kind of like on it, like not real hard, it just ease acceleration, it would kind of pop like a glass pack, which I really hated. I would always just ease real slow when I was accelerating, or I would go ahead and just get on a little bit, get it like 3/4 throttle and make it, shoot on past that point, because I hated that sound. It doesn't seem to do that anymore with that 3-inch section removed, where it's all straight 4-inch. So, and like I said, it's a little bit deeper of a tone through the low and the mid-range. The high end pretty much sounds the same. But we're gonna go take a quick drive, listen to it, check out the new camera, see how that does. And then we're gonna come back, let it cool off. We're gonna put the dump pipe on. can see it. I don't have access to a lift anymore, but this is a new Y pipe. V-banded right there. So this is the section that had the small piece of 3-inch lift in it with the old Y pipe with the old merge. So got right there, V-banded, 4-inch electric cutout. That is a 30-inch, 36-inch overall length magnet flow straight through wrench muffler. And then I already removed the tailpipe section, but it's V-banded right back here, so it can be removed. The over the axle section is actually out of it's actually made for a Duramax, an early 2000s Duramax. All that information, everything's in the other video, But that's what we're removing. So we got to get one clamp out there, or to disconnect the electrical connector right here. I'm gonna pop that V-band and drop this section out. We'll weigh it and see what the weight difference is, and then it's late enough in the day, but we're gonna wake up the neighbors if anyone's sleeping, because it's gonna be loud with that little dump pipe. The dump pipe's gonna go right there, and it's gonna dump like right here. It's basically dumped like right under the passenger seat. So, but let's get this part removed. That's what we did. The factory, well, I say factory, that's the Y pipe that these headers came with. And then the merge right here is what we replaced. So it's all, there's no section that is smaller than 3-inch. The only 3-inch pipe in this is the where the two banks connect. There's no spot in here anymore where both banks are breathing through anything smaller than 4-inch. 4-inch is the smallest diameter both banks breathe through. So let's get this popped out, and I'll show you a little more about it whenever we get it on the ground. All right, here's the whole exhaust system. There's the V-band that we added on to connect to the new merge 4-inch QuickTime Performance cutout, which that thing's been getting used. I had it on there for about 3 years, 3.5 years. So, other than just some lack of maintenance, you're supposed to go back and tighten some bolts and stuff on it. Most of the time it's not really gotten the love that it's needed to, but it's given me virtually no problems, and the problems that it's had has been my fault. But that's the giant muffler that's in it. Like I said, it's a 30-inch core. It's the biggest one that they offer on the straight throughs like that. So I wanted to try to make it quiet, which it does a pretty good job, but it's honestly not as quiet as it's quiet to my standards, but to most people's standards, like they still say it's pretty loud. But fix to make it a whole lot louder. This, like I said, this is the over the axle section for a early 2000s Duramax. We did have to add one more extra bend that it did not have. It's a little bit different of a bend, but to make it go straight out the back. But that's what we're working with, and this here is what we're going back with. I did weigh it, and it is just over 40 pounds. So like I said, the little dump pipe that we're putting back on is about 4 pounds, so we're looking at about 40 pounds saved here. I was really hoping to get a little bit more weight off of it for the truck shootout this weekend, which is why we're doing all this. So I did go back to my small tires. I used to have a 325 50/15, which is a 28-inch tall tire, but it wasn't legal for their rules. So we put the small tires back on. I actually got rid of the 325s this time. I sold them, so we won't have those no more. We're gonna stay with the small tires. We'll make a decision on when these wear out if we're gonna go back with a 275, probably ET Street R, so we have a DOT tire on it, or if we're gonna stick with the Hoosiers. I really like the way that the Hoosiers are, and Hoosier does offer a DOT radial, so we may look into that because I like the white letter. Maybe some white letter Hoosiers on the front too when these wear out. But that's what we're working with. So let's get the dump pipe put on. And what I was getting at on the tires is we lost 23 pounds of rotating weight. It was 11 and some change off of between the 325s and these 28-10.5 Hoosiers. So we're losing about 40 pounds here. We gained, hopefully, a little bit of performance from not being neck down up here. And like I said, 40 pounds. So we're looking at a total of about 60 pounds taken out from the last time we raced it. 20 pounds of that being rotating weight. Hopefully got a little bit better exhaust flow, a little better performance there. The weather looks like it's going to be decent, so hopefully it'll perform good with some cool air. You know, something that's not, 2,500, 3,000 foot DA, like the last time we raced it in Dallas. We'll get a little bit better and get real close to that 750 number we're shooting for. And if it don't do it, then I think we're gonna work on doing some upgrades over the winter for next year. But we're gonna get this dump pipe put in, and we'll fire it up, see what it sounds like. I don't know if I'm gonna drive it yet or not, because it's gonna be pretty obnoxious, and it's already not technically street legal with it being on the beadlocks and the Hoosiers. So we'll see. We might just make a little quick trip around the block. The 360 camera was already kind of distorted the volume a little bit. I'm not sure if it's just because of the wind. I might try to bring the camera down a little bit, get it out of the wind of stream a little bit more. But we might rip it around the block real quick. So let's get the dump pipe put on. All right, we got the dump pipe put on. Gonna be a little bit louder now. Gonna be should be a little more free flowing, hopefully. We'll fire it up and see what it sounds like. Alright, get the dump pipe on. It's not gonna be a cold start, but see what it sounds like.